Welcome to the Hollywood Raw Podcast, Raw Rundown, where we go over the top 10 stories in the world of pop culture and entertainment news. My name is Adam Glyn. Over there is Dax Holt. He's been making TikToks all morning to the Apple Girl Charlie XCX thing. You see that dance move that they all do? It's actually kind of cute. Charlie XCX at her concerts, if there's a celebrity there, she has like the TikTok dance. And they kind of do the camera of the concert kind of goes to that celebrity, and they have to kind of do the TikTok dance to that part of the song. And the crowd goes crazy. They had Gracie Abrams. They had this guy, Conan Gray. They've had a bunch of random celebrities do that over the past few months. And it's actually kind of a fun thing to do at a concert where the crowd goes crazy because the celebrity's into it. But Charlie XCX, what a year she's having. Am I right?
Dude, she is blowing it. Well, I guess she started blowing up like a year ago, though. Like she's been doing it for a while. That's
the thing is like I don't want to say a late bloomer, but in the past year and a half, I'm going to say year, it's just been on another level. And she's become like from a artist to, a working artist to a massive star. And I feel like you want to go to the show just to see the experience of her. And I've never met her. Seems very cool. By the way, this past week I did an episode where Dax, you were not here. I kind of just told some stories from my past, my experiences dealing with celebrities. And the Taylor Swift community has come at me. Now, let me say this.
Because do you want to give people that didn't listen to the episode a reason why the Taylor Swift community would come after you?
So I talked about my experience getting into a physical altercation with her father, where I should say he got physical with me. I did not get physical with him. And it was very but he got physical with me after I was at a Target in Harlem, which their team let me know that she was going to be there. Not saying she does, and I'm not trying to that is true. I mean, she was there trying to promote an album, and I'm not saying she does set up paparazzi shots. But at this particular time, they let me know she was going to be there. The guy didn't know who I was. I don't know. It got very weird. Well, I kind of put it out there. I also, in what I was talking about this past week was Gracie Abrams. And I said, I'm not a Swifty. Now, here's the thing is I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I don't hate her. There's not one ill will I have towards her. The only thing I talk about is my experience with her. I said the words, I'm not a Swifty. When I say I'm not a Swifty, that means I'm just not like a Taylor Swift obsessed fan. Like, I think she's talented. I think she's cool enough, but I'm not obsessed with the fandom of Taylor Swift as many people are. So when I say I'm not a Swifty, they say I'm bullying Taylor. Her fans are bullying me. And again, I'm just talking about an experience I had with her. I'm not giving any part of my opinion on her except just about my experience. That's all it was. Does that make sense?
So you hate Taylor Swift is what you're saying?
So I hate Taylor Swift. No, I do not hate Taylor Swift one bit. So people know, like, I don't care about, like, if trust me, I could say I don't care about her, but if she was standing on the other side of the room taking photos with people, I'd walk up and try to ask for a photo with Taylor Swift. So it's 100%. Not like I don't dislike her. I'm just not like an obsessed Taylor Swift fan. And I think you are too. Yeah.
Are you saying I'm an obsessed Taylor fan, or you're saying I'm not?
No, I'm saying you're not. I'm saying you're not a Taylor Swift fan.
I very much appreciate her talent. I like a lot of her songs. I am not an obsessed fan. Like when she was here, I didn't spend $1,000 to go to her concert, but I would have easily gone to see her concert. Like I appreciate everything that she does, and I think she's crazy talented. But yeah, I'm not staying up at night twirling my hair to her albums or anything.
So I just want to be clear. When I say I'm not a Swiftie, that means I'm just not a Taylor Swift obsessed fan. I appreciate her talent, though. By the way, Dax, you know what I did last night? I went to a film set for the show called Gravesend. It's an Amazon Prime show, but Shaquille O'Neal was in it, so I got to hang out on set.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw some paparazzi photos of him walking around on set, like a big gold chain, and
yeah,
I think
he's playing like a thug type guy and like a gangster, and it is kind of crazy to be on a film set. Like people don't realize, like it's a lot of waiting around. And, like, come on, let's go, and then when you get the shot, it's like you kind of have to do everything like 4 times in a row, and they're doing outside shots, and so many times they're in the scene. And a plane goes over and they go, cut, we got to wait until, or some car has a big engine on the street, like cut. Like, so it's really like I understand why artists can be a little bit aggravated or a little bit tense on set because there is a lot of pressure on them to perform at that moment after waiting around for so long.
Yeah. I think
But
it's
Shaq, I'll be honest with you, I was
especially when
very
you think about having to redo the same scene over and over and over again. Like you're like, dude, I already did this. Come on, can we move on to the next thing? Like that part I think would be hard.
yeah, but I mean, Shaq is just such a pro, and I gotta be honest with you, I was impressed with him as a friend, as a fan. Like he was like in the back studying notes, and then the actors came back, sat in the trailer with him, like kind of did a read through. Like I was like, oh, this is like
Is there
he's taking it very serious.
any other big names in the show?
Chaz Palminteri, like a lot of Sopranos guys. Like I think Dominic Chianese. Like it's sort of like a Staten Island Brooklyn gangster show. So a lot of people in that sort of genre. And I was talking to this one guy, William, who's like the EP of the show. He was like, yeah, like that's what we, he's got this Italian look. And he goes, yeah, like I'm an actor, but I obviously specialize in those type of roles, these mafia Italian gangster roles. And yeah, I like those kind of shows. So no, cool experience in that. All right. Today is the Raw Rundown where we go give you the top 10 stories of the week. How do we pick the top 10 stories? It goes by Google search. It goes by data. And lastly, it goes by personal opinions. But ultimately, it comes down to Diddy. What did Diddy do? No, obviously, we're going to get into Diddy. And we are going to get to Diddy. Does he make number one? Stick around and find out. But we'll go into everything that you need to know about Diddy so you know everything that's going on for 4th of July weekend in the world of pop culture. Before we get to that, Dax, do you have a review ready for us?
I got one. This one is from Francesca Z91. It says, the best podcast. It says, I've been following your podcast for a while now, and it is the best one I've ever listened to. I'm originally from LA and was a teenager in the 2000s, back when TMZ first became a thing. I used to stand outside movie premieres and the Jimmy Kimmel Show just to catch a glimpse of the action. Hearing your stories about celebrity interactions brings me so much comfort, especially now that I live in another state and sometimes feel homesick. Also, I really appreciate Adams, a fan of Robbie Williams and Craig David, two of my all-time favorite artists. Keep up the amazing work, guys.
Robbie, listen.
That's Francesca.
Great review.
Yep.
Francesca, me and Francesca are on the same level. Our fandom of Robbie. I'm not a Swifty, but if there's some sort of Robin Williams, I'm all about it. Robin Williams is the man. Dax loses points for not watching Better Man, one of the best movies in the past year. We got to give that Dax a homework assignment. All right, let's get to the Raw Rundown, starting with number 10.
Number 10, Lily Allen. A lot of people know her, and she caused a lot of waves this week. We already know abortion is, it's a hot button topic. People can get fired up pretty quickly, but they get really fired up when you start telling them about all the abortions you have, and you kind of laugh in the same moment. So she had her podcast. It's the Miss Me podcast. And she started talking about, and it was like a totally open conversation with her and the co-host Makita Oliver. And they're talking about contraceptives and stuff. And then she said she admitted that she's had a lot of abortions over the time. She said, abortions, I've had a few, but then again, I can't remember exactly how many. And then she sang My Way by Frank Sinatra. And then she kind of was like thinking about it. She goes, I think I've had like 4 or 5. And she said that she had an IUD, but she remembers before that she would just kind of get abortions, and she was pregnant all the time. And listen, obviously, this struck a chord, and a lot of people out there, because there's a very fine line of what people stand, like which side of the line they stand on. But I think it really pissed a lot of people off because she was like kind of laughing about just going out and having abortions and like just not having a real care in the world. And her co-host also kind of admitted that she has also had 4 or 5 abortions. So it made a lot of news this week.
I can understand why people are upset by that. I can understand I can understand everyone's opinions on this. Obviously, some people could be offended by this. Some people could, and I understand her like kind of having fun with it. It's a very sensitive subject depending on who the person is and their beliefs are. So,
that one's a tough one because like no matter what we say, we're gonna get crucified by someone. So we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I understand everyone's side on this. It's a very sensitive subject, but made a lot of news. Got clicks. Dax number 9
made a ton of news. People, Okay, anyway, I was going to say, the pro-life people were all over it. The people that were okay with abortion were all praising her honesty. So it was a lot of news. Okay, number 9, Post Malone splitting from his girlfriend Christy Lee. This was a pretty fast relationship. I feel like we just announced on a couple Raw rundowns ago that they were together, and now they are not. If you remember him and his ex-fiance Jamie, I think is how they called her. Her real name is like Hae Sung Park. They broke up last November, and then he started dating this new girl, and now they're already done. But anyway, he's still in the middle of this whole custody battle with his ex-fiance over their child. Don't really know the child's name. I think they haven't really released it at this point. But there's a lot going on in his life, and so maybe he just needs to focus on that at the moment, and having a girlfriend might be a little distracting. So he has moved on.
It was sort of like, he broke up with his baby mama, then started dating this other girl. That it happened all so quick, and we were just like, "What's going on?" And maybe that relationship. I think they're in Paris together.
I was gonna say, in total, I think it was less than a month. Like, it was that quick of a relationship.
But when you saw them together, they're in Paris. It looked like, oh man, they're very, very serious. And I would see the baby mama occasionally in New York, and she would drive around. Like, he was always publicly not with her. Like, I don't know, but
Wait, I mean, what does that mean?
They would never walk out together. They would always kind of be separate, probably because she was very private, and maybe she just wanted to be private.
Mm.
Okay. I don't. There's nothing wrong with that, but I felt like if she was there, obviously he would stay in the hotel. Like, celebrities are weird. Like, if I were to go to a city, I'd want to move around, go explore. Some of these people, like when they go to a hotel in New York, they're inside all day. They don't leave their room.
Because it's probably a nightmare, dude. You can go outside and you can walk down the street. No one cares. They walk outside and they get 5 feet and I want a picture. I want autograph. I want this. I want that. Like, it's probably fucking annoying to be a celebrity.
Yeah, no, it's got to have its moments, I'm sure. I mean, it's funny. Now you remind me I wanted to ask Shaq about that. Like, what's the toughest part about being Shaq? And see if because Shaq is, but he's a different person. Like, he's
but his fame
celebrity.
Is also on another level too. Everyone knows him, and you can't blend in. There's no ever blending in for Shaq. So it's like,
true.
Leonardo DiCaprio, he pulls his hat down. Yes, that brings attention to him, but at some point, there's going to be people that don't notice him, and he blends into a crowd on the street in New York. Shaq will never blend into any crowd ever because he is, 3 feet taller than everyone else. And so immediately your eye goes to him, and then you go, holy shit, it's Shaq.
True, but he's just so good at handling it. Like, last night we're in Staten Island, and they're filming this on this like boardwalk in Staten Island, and there's people waiting around, and like he goes out of his way to like make people have their moment. And the only other person I could say who's like that, similar, recently John Cena's been really good at making sure like everyone has their moment and being very present. And Oprah's very good at like, hey, how are you? And like gives people a moment that calms them down. And also Post Malone's pretty good with that too, I have to say. So, all right, number 8.
Number 8, Charlize Theron raving about having really amazing one-night stand sex with a 26-year-old. So, of course, she did the Call Her Daddy podcast because I'm amazed, like, the amount of big stars going on Call Her Daddy and opening up about their sex life and all of this stuff. Like, I get it. Howard Stern did this for years. I'm always surprised that everyone's sitting down with her to like talk about this stuff, especially someone like Charlize Theron. But she was on the Wednesday episode, and she said, I've probably had like 3 one-night stands in my entire life, but I just recently fucked a 26-year-old, and it was really fucking amazing, and I've never done that. And I was like, okay, this is great. Okay. And again, I like the honesty. I would love if people would be that honest on here, but that's hard to get to that point where you can just have these super open conversations on any podcast with a huge, massive celebrity. And then she went on to say that she's been having that kind of sex that she never had in her 20s or 30s, and the ones that and we should be the ones that are like, fuck you, I'm gonna have an orgasm, is basically what she was saying. She never got that opportunity when she was younger to just be like, hey, this is about me. And now she is doing that. She did admit that she is on Raya, but she was not a huge fan of Raya, or at least the guys on there. She started giving advice to the guys, like, stop posting Burning Man photos. Don't post photos with other women. I don't care. I don't want to know that you have other girlfriends or that you're shooting a selfie in your closet with your hand in your jean pocket. She goes, it makes my vagina close. I just can't. And she said, don't tell me you're the CEO, because you're not. Like, I'm sorry, of what? Some business you can't explain to me that none of my friends can understand. So, like, no. So I was like, what does she want people to post? She said all the things not to post. What does she want people to post on these dating apps?
Yeah.
I can't imagine dating at this point in my life. I think I'd be so horrible at it.
I just wonder what this 26-year-old, you said 26-year-old she banged?
Yeah.
I wonder if this 26-year-old knows he banged Charlize Theron. Like, if he's just not in the know and doesn't know who. And first of all, props to this guy for keeping his mouth shut, because most people are like, oh my God, I just banged Charlize Theron. And I will say this, I've seen a lot of celebrities. Charlize Theron is in my top 10 of the most beautiful, jaw-dropping. Yeah, she's tall, she's pretty, she's confident. I mean, what a score for a 26-year-old. And I don't know. It's hard for me to say if I feel like it's so weird and trendy for like these women now to go for a younger guy. But yet again, when an older guy goes for a younger girl, it's like kind of looked at kind of weird.
I think because the roles were reversed for so many years, like you always heard about the old dudes dating young chicks, you know what I'm saying? So I think that
nothing wrong with it, by the way.
Get it, girl, get it.
Yeah, have fun, do you. It's just so, it's interesting, the news, like when a female teacher goes with a student, everyone clicks on those stories because people want to see what the girl looks like. But when a guy does it, it's not as exciting. No one really. Everyone's like,
I'm going to go with it goes with gross. The age where it's illegal. Is what's really getting people to click.
No, there's no. Yes, you're 1,000% true, but 100% people look at those stories because it's almost like a fantasy. Like, oh my God, this kid got with that teacher. Like that's like in a movie type thing. But you're right. Obviously, it comes down to the age. All right, now everyone comes at me for this shit. I can't win. I cannot win. Number 7.
Keith Urban. There was a moment that happened this week when he was doing an interview with some radio hosts, and they asked about his wife doing sex scenes in other movies, and it hung up. And so everyone was like, oh shit, was that too far? Should they have not asked Keith Urban about the sex scenes with his wife and like Zac Efron? And it really must have pissed him off. Well, apparently that was not the case, and that Keith did not hang up, period, is what a source told People, that he doesn't host his own Zoom meetings. So this was with the Mix 102.3, Haley and the Max in the Morning. It's one of Australia's big radio shows out there, and they thought they were being playful and asked about the sex scenes and how he deals with it. I don't really know. It looked like he was laughing and smiling until the video cuts. So I think there is truth to maybe he was totally fine with the question. Maybe his team ended the call because they didn't want those questionings going on. Because you know that whenever I've done an interview with anyone, especially on Zoom, you see this celebrity, but then there's always a handler or a publicist or a manager that is also on the Zoom that is watching and listening to every question, and they can jump in and say nope or you're all good. I could see him having someone there that just ended the call once it became about a sex topic.
I agree. We've done that, like when you do junkets and these type of interviews as well. Keith is not running his own Zoom. It's not like Keith's setting up a Zoom call. So it's usually someone else hosting it, and then he just signs on. You guys go on as guests, and they easily could have done it. So I do believe that the person could have done it. With that said, not a bad question, but also it's like read the room a little bit. We don't know like the.
Apparently he was fine with the question.
Going. Yeah. And, so all right, good question, and I think it was his team who did it. But good news, good publicity for the radio show, right?
Oh, such good publicity for the radio show.
Such
good. And it makes it even. It makes it even better that he has come out saying that it wasn't the question. Because if they look like assholes because they asked a question that was inappropriate and they got hung up on, that's one thing. But him saying I wasn't offended by the question and it just the Zoom ended, I think it kind of makes them look good still and great publicity.
Yeah, true. Win-win. Number 6.
Ariana, Biermann opening up about Kim Zolciak and having to pay her mom's bills and being and financially supporting her and her siblings as well. And so Ariana Biermann showed up. She was on Watch What Happens Live. And she starts talking about the only time that my mom asks me for money is if it's regarding her bills or something that she needs for the kids. And then she pays me back when she can. And she basically went on to say that, that her mom and her stepfather, Khloé, have also taken a lot of money from her older sister, Brielle, and that it's just kind of what it is. But she then wanted to clarify, look, at the end of the day, my mom, no matter what, will always be my best friend, and money should never ruin a relationship with your family. You can always make more money, and God bless us in that way, and God will bless us in that way. I have my mom, and that's all that matters. And I thought, what a great way to look at it. Like, her mom's going through a lot of shit. It's very public. It's not a good look for Kim to be borrowing money or taking money from her kids after being on Real Housewives and being super successful and all this stuff. And her daughter's just like, it is what it is. And my mom's a good person. She's my best friend, and I'm going to keep supporting her. I'm not going to let that stop us.
Nice. Good comment. Good job. Good daughter. Good mom. I'd say good mom, but like, you do what you got to do for the family. And
it's crazy though.
How much she's given.
Isn't it crazy to think though that like we're here at this point? Like 7 years ago, Kim Zolciak was on top of the world. She had the show. She was making a shit ton of money. Her and Khloé were like living it up. And to be here where it's like divorce, the house is sold, they got no money. I'm like, wow, how did you like spend through it all? And I know that there's been rumors that she has a gambling addiction and all this kind of stuff. But like, damn, you blew through everything. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's... If you only met them, I've met them and saw them in person, you would never think at what financial point they're at that it would be that low and that bad.
Yeah.
And it's funny. She was on Kristen Cavallari's podcast recently. Kristen Cavallari did like a live show, and Kim was on it. I was just curious if Kim got paid to do that.
I'm sure. So what I've noticed in Hollywood is once bills are starting to stack up and you've run out of money, you start going on podcasts, but you charge. So you say, hey, I need an appearance fee, because at the end of the day, you got to pay your bills. So you're like, I can't keep just doing all this free shit like I used to do. I need money. So I wouldn't be surprised if she got paid.
Do we want to say who? I don't want to say they personally did, but their rep asked for money when we reached out.
Was it Tori?
Yes, Tori Kelly. No, Tori Spelling. It was Tori Spelling.
Which was all good.
We're like, all right, we understood it.
But there was a bunch. Carmen Electra, she wanted money. At first, Tara Reid's person said money, but then Tara ended up being like, no, I'll go on their podcast, and she didn't charge us.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so
I get it.
Happens.
What number are we on? Number 6, 5?
We are on number 5.
Number 5.
All right, so Golden Bachelor been announced. Mel Owens being pretty upfront and honest with some of the things that he wants for his season. Said, look, I'm going to cut any woman older than 60. So he says, I don't want him to be on the show. I'm not interested. He said, I prefer to date someone between 45 to 60, not over 60. Apparently that is what he told producers. But I mean, listen, you got your preferences. Go for it, bro. This is your opportunity.
And how old is he?
I think, let me see if I can find his age here. 66.
Well, I would say 66. So I would say this, and I think this is with a lot of people. Nothing wrong with it. He would like to date someone who's a little bit younger because they make him feel younger. Mm-hmm. Am I right? Like that would be my personal opinion. Why criticize if that is
if that is what he's looking for and that is who he's interested in, who are we to say? If you want it to be a successful season of The Golden Bachelor, then have the women in the age range that he wants, because there's more chance of success then.
I also think it's a good age for the show, because the last show when they did the older Bachelor, the Golden Bachelor, it skewed a little bit older with women, and we haven't got this age of women. Which this age of women that he's saying from 45 to 60 can be a little weird or crazy. I'm not saying all, but can be a little bit more unique. And I only say that from seeing the Housewives, where they can make actually good TV. So yeah, I think it's actually a good thing. I also think the Bachelor show is leaning into this to make more publicity regarding the show. So this is not like, oh my God, make news. Like, no, the Bachelor, ABC is sending this to every single media outlet saying, hey, we got a story for you.
Oh, 100%. It's great. It's totally clickable information that you want to read, and you're a little shocked by it, but then you're like, oh wait, but it kind of makes sense. Like, I wouldn't blink if Charlize Theron wanted to do The Bachelorette and she said, hey, I only want 25 to 27-year-olds. I'd be like, okay, get it, girl. So it is what it is.
Dax number 4.
Khloé Kardashian, she is opening up about all the plastic surgeries that she's had, listing all the different cosmetic surgeries or things that she has done to herself over the years. Basically what happened was there was a Dr. Johnny Betteridge is a viral doctor, and he basically posts videos on social media and then kind of goes through all the things that he thinks the person may have had done. And so he thought that Khloé may have undergone a temporal brow lift and I'm going to fuck all these things up, blepharoplasty and a rhinoplasty and lip filler, and basically like saying this is what he thinks she's had. And she said, look, she went and commented on the video and said, look, I take this as a great compliment. She said, first thing, I think these photos are about 15 years apart when he was showing the like before and after. But here's a list of things that I've done, and I've been very open in my past about what I've done. So here we go. And then she started listing all of the stuff, which I'm shocked. Like, it wasn't on a Andy Cohen. It wasn't on a Call Her Daddy. It's in the comment section of a doctor's video. And she said, so laser cool. Hair. So she goes, I got a nose job was the first thing on the list, followed by laser hair for the hairline and everywhere else. And then she kind of got into some of the injectables. She said she's gotten Botox, which works by relaxing the muscle that causes wrinkles. She's had Sculpture, which is a type of dermal filler, which uses FDA-approved poly-L-lactic acid to reduce deep wrinkles. And then let's see, what else did she say? Then she said that I guess where her face had the tumor and that where, the skin was removed in her cheek. Do you remember when she had that big scar? That I want to say she had some filler put in there. And then she also said that she had fillers, but she's been filler free as of late, and that she had a treatment, but hasn't had any over the last few years. And she likes the way that it looks, and it will dissolve, but she's like, I kind of calmed down from doing any of that. I don't know. I really thought this was really interesting. She said she has gotten some collagen baby threads underneath her chin and neck. And I guess that's kind of a non-surgical procedure that lifts sagging, aging skin. So let's see. What else did she say? She's also gotten a soft wave laser for skin tightening. I mean, the fact that she's opening up about all this stuff is so crazy. I know in the past she said she's had the salmon sperm facials, which are supposedly good for your skin. So yeah, she wasn't holding back, talking about everything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Kardashians always win. Kardashians always win. They handle it with fun and just cool. Like, how cool was that? It's such a way of coming back at you. Like, oh, this is actually what I did, if you really want to know. Well, and I love that celebrities are being more outspoken about this, not out of hate. It's just more of of just curiosity. I liked it.
I liked it because we all know that she has changed a lot over the years. Her look has drastically changed, but I also can tell her confidence has drastically changed. You know, she was constantly being compared to her sisters, and people were making fun of her. I love that she is confident. She's the sexy third sister, Kardashian sister. Like, you know, she is not the outcast. And I think that she is like happy with who she is and how she looks. And if she got a nose job and some things done, like, good for her to be happy with herself.
Yes. Dax, number 3.
And on top of that, there's a lot of people that could be struggling with the same things. They're like, oh, so that's what you did. Okay, so I can do those things and, you know, change the way that I look. And, you know, someone may need to hear that. Sorry. Yeah. That's all.
No, love it. All good. Number 3.
All right. So apparently back in the day, Tupac's friends rolled him up and smoked him after his death. So if you remember, he was cremated after his untimely death at the age of 25. He was cremated, and directly after cremating, his friends apparently took his ashes, put it in the joints, rolled it up, and smoked it. And this is all a true story. So kind of shocking, but oh my God, what the fuck is his name again? What is wrong with me right now?
Suge Knight.
Dude, it wasn't in the top. Fuck. Okay, I'm just going to add this on. All of this being revealed by Suge Knight. Obviously, we know Suge Knight, very good friend of Tupac's. He was in the car the night that he had died. He was there with him. He also got shot back in Las Vegas on that day. But he was saying that his mother wanted him cremated quickly, and Suge actually spent about $1 million to have him cremated quickly. And he said that all of his mom said, hey, I want you guys to sprinkle it in your joints, roll it up, smoke him. And it was kind of like an honor. He said at the time it didn't seem so strange. Suge did not participate because I guess he was on probation and he was doing drug tests and all this kind of stuff. So he couldn't smoke at the time. But everyone else did, and it didn't feel weird, but I think talking about it sounds a little strange at this point. So would you roll me up and smoke me?
No, but Tupac, yes. I mean, just to say you did it. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know why this is only coming out this so many years later. I just don't know if I believe.
I actually totally believe this.
Do you?
Yeah. I totally believe this.
Because you know what? Suge would have said this years ago.
But it seems like something that you would do to like honor a friend. Like everyone's sitting around, you're all sad that he's gone. His ashes are sitting there, and then someone's just like, dude, let's do this for Tupac. Let's smoke it. Let's smoke and let's smoke him.
This was from like a Willie Nelson song, Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die. And I don't think these guys were Willie Nelson fans. I don't really believe Suge Knight. I just think this story would have came out years ago.
I think it's still
true. You're only saying that because you're scared of Suge Knight.
That's accurate. But I don't know. There's something about it where I feel like you do weird things to honor people's memory. And this 100% is something that I think someone would do in that moment of grief.
Okay. Number 2.
Blake Lively, her legal team is now subpoenaing. Is that how you say it? Subpoenaing. Why is that word so hard to say? Subpoenaing. Perez Hilton, Candace Owens, in an effort to prove Justin Baldoni's alleged smear campaign. So they're apparently sending these subpoenas to these high-followed, high-ranking social media personalities that are big in the entertainment world. And so they have millions of followers and views, and they've been covering the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni saga. And so it kind of makes sense that if there was any interaction between Baldoni's people and these social influencers to make Blake Lively look bad, that Lively's team wants in to see, hey, were you influenced? Were you paid? Were you leaked information to talk crap on me? Perez seemed pretty shocked by the information because TMZ reported it, and he was like, I haven't been served with anything. And I think the other people that were involved, none of them had been subpoenaed either. So they were like, wait, so is Blake Lively's people now leaking this information to also make news? So we'll see how this unfolds. But if you remember, his whole lawsuit has now been kind of thrown out. Hers is moving forward against him, and so we'll see where this ends, because it's, again, the never-ending story.
Justin Baldoni. It's crazy how much we've been talking about this guy in the last couple months, just every week. But I thought they're getting close to ending this thing. Hopefully, it sort of wraps soon, because I would hate for us to keep speaking about it to the top 10.
You're like, I don't care about it for them. I care about it for us, and us to have to keep talking about this freaking case.
Exactly. Dax, the number one story of the week.
Number one story of the week. Obviously, we got to talk Diddy. That has been the biggest story so far this week. Him being found guilty on 2 counts. So let's go through the different counts that he was found not guilty on. Count 1, he was found not guilty on racketeering and conspiracy. That was a huge one for him to be found not guilty. Count 2, he was not found not guilty on, and that was the sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. That was Cassie Ventura. Count 3, he was found guilty on transportation to engage in prostitution with Cassie. Count 4, found not guilty on sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion on Jane. And then was found guilty on count 5, which was transportation to engage in prostitution. So at the end of the day, he, I would say, won big here, because the most important ones, the ones that were going to have the biggest issue or the face with the most jail time, he was found not guilty of. So let's see. When it comes to what this means for his freedom, basically he is going to remain in custody for the next couple months at least. It sounds like his sentencing will be in October, so the judge will definitely keep him behind bars. All the time that he has been behind bars at this point will count towards whatever sentence he is handed. And so I would say he's already roughly served 10 months at the Metropolitan Detention Center. And then the maximum total penalty for both counts is 20 years at this point. I think prosecutors will recommend 51 to 63 months. That's about 4 to 5 years, while the defense suggests a shorter term of 21 to 27 months. We'll see what this judge decides on. And, if you remember, he was denied bail, so he won't be released before the sentencing. And if the sentencing goes his way, it's unlikely he'll walk free due to substantial credit of time served and the judge's concern. So, again, it was a win for him, even though he will still most likely be in jail for quite some time. I think it ruined his reputation more than anything. Like him sitting in jail, like now we know he's a woman abuser. He's a weirdo that likes creepy sex stuff. Like, I think his reputation is taking such a hard hit. He is not going to have that legacy that he once had. And I think that is going to be the big thing. I mean, we've seen so much into his life, but you still got to be behind bars for a little bit.
We did kind of call this early on, what was going on in the case, like the way it's happening. Like, he's going to be found guilty in some things, but innocent in a lot. And I was like, yeah, he's going to go away, but not as much as people think. And I think that's what's true. I don't think he's not coming out anytime soon, but not sooner rather than later, especially what people thought in their heads. And my thought when I hear the stories now, and you hear a lot of the guys speaking, when I say guys, I say male prostitutes. I was also surprised that Cassie didn't get sort of into some trouble, because she was also reaching out to these male prostitutes for these freak offs as well. And I mean, will he be welcomed back? I mean, who really cares? First of all, P. Diddy's so rich, people will still gravitate towards him. Maybe not celebrities, because it's not good for their brand. But like he's been doing for the last 10 years, he has these weird hanger-on people that still idolize him. They still want that lifestyle, so they'll still hang out with him.
Did you see all the people celebrating outside the courthouse yesterday, pouring baby oil all over themselves and dancing around? I'm like, oh, God.
I mean, those are people that are just looking to go to the next freak off, but also people that are just they're just content creators trying to make fun and have that moment or make a funny video.
So I will say the one thing to keep in mind is this was the only obviously federal criminal matter, but there's over 80 pending civil cases. So that, and some of those go back to like the 1990s. So I think at the end of the day, he is still going to be in and out of court, like we said, dealing with all these different civil cases and probably paying a ton of money, blowing through a lot of his earnings to try to defend himself.
Guy is very, very wealthy. So at what point does he, I think he'll still be okay. I don't know. There's a lot of money involved. I wonder how it's going in jail with him as far as with other inmates. If now, obviously they know all the stories about Diddy, and if he's like entertaining those guys in jail. I know that sounds weird, but I am curious. If
having jail freak-offs?
Having jail freak-offs, because I could see those guys sort of messing with him a little bit because it is what it is. But I'm
assuming he's not in general population, bro. He's probably
but you're still around some
with
people.
Everyone.
Not everyone, but there's still people there. And, he still knows people. And it's funny. I talked to a rapper last night, actually. Who did I talk to? Rapper Mano last night. And he was like, listen, I don't think he should be. He defended him to a certain extent. He's like, listen, he's not the first guy to participate in prostitution. People are, it is what it is. I think a lot of people dabble with it. I mean, I thought you could say what you want, but he didn't do anything illegal. He's just a freak. And I think that's really what it came down to. So, but I'm curious what happens with the civil cases as well. The civil cases will add more time to the sentence that he's going to get because he hasn't been sentenced yet. I heard sentencing, the maximum he could get is 10 to 20 years. He's already served, 9 months already so far? 10, so that goes towards 10 months. So that already goes towards the sentence that he already gets. But yeah, I don't know. It's still not done. There's still a lot there. We'll see. All right, that is the Raw Rundown. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. Check out our private Facebook group, Off the Record. See you guys next week. Have a great holiday.
Bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.